Hey, good morning. Welcome to day 40 of Cup of Water. This is the first day of walking through the New Testament after spending 39 days going through the Old Testament. And so, obviously, the first book of the New Testament is the book of Matthew, and we're going to go into Matthew chapter 5. And before I begin, it's been said, this is the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount, that this is Jesus' greatest teaching. And I want to challenge you on that, because I feel like this is Jesus' greatest unteaching. He's unteaching the disciples. And here's why I go there with chapter 5. Beginning in verse 21, it says, "You've heard it said, don't murder. But I tell you this." 27, "You've heard it said, don't commit adultery. But I tell you." In 31, it's been said about divorce, but I tell you. In 33, "You've heard it said, don't break your oath. But I tell you." In 38, "You've heard eye for an eye, but I tell you." In 43, "Love your neighbor, but I tell you." You know, throughout chapter 5, Jesus is unteaching. And it brings me to this spot. What are those things in my life that I need to be untaught? That for 46 years of my life, I've learned certain things that Jesus wants to unteach. It might be my understanding of who the Holy Spirit is. It might be my understanding of the role of the church, or evangelism, or discipleship, or relationships. And when I look at what Jesus says, you know, he's taken this, he's taken his word, and he's unteaching. How many things in your journey of faith right now does Jesus need to unteach? That he needs to unteach. That your basis for understanding is built on the traditions of man or the teaching of man, but truly isn't a biblical understanding or a biblical teaching of that. And I think that's where Jesus is taking the disciples, is he wants them to filter everything through him, through his word. And a lot of times we don't. We filter it through what the world says. When we get to Romans, it says, don't be conformed any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed. To be in the world, but not of the world. And that's a challenge that you have as a person trying to walk by faith. If you're trying to walk by faith, what does the Bible say? What if you knew nothing? You knew nothing. Nothing about the traditions, the history, and you opened this book and you just started reading in Matthew 1 and just started reading, what would your faith look like? If you said, Jesus, whatever you say, I'll do, what would it look like? And then go to the book of Acts, the founding of the church. And you said, Jesus, this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to walk, because this is what you say to do. And so that's my challenge today, to take a look around you. Take a look around at your journey of faith, and are there areas that Jesus needs to unteach? And, you know, a good challenge, here we are in the middle of July, is maybe the next couple weeks, reread the 4 Gospels in the book of Acts. And try to see it with fresh eyes. And let Jesus unteach you. Hey, that's your cup of water today. I can't wait to continue walking through the New Testament. This is going to be good stuff. God bless you today.